if you're looking for something more of a challenge, then, every time we chaturanga, throw in 10 push-ups. Every time we step up for tiger pose, hop up to the top of the mat instead. Try to get your hips up over your shoulders to work on your press-ups and handstands. Well, if you want more of a workout, just add more reps. I'm just here to flow with you guys and undo. We drove from 3:30 to 1:30.
Yeah.
Or I drove from 3:30
to.
I drove straight, so I drove from 3:30 to 1:30. So we're gonna undo. I can't do math, but I'm pretty sure that's 9 hours.
Yeah, solid.
Of driving with 2 gas station stops.
Mm-hmm.
So we're undoing a whole bunch of sitting, baby. All right. So. Pause the music. We're going to find a comfortable seat. Oh, wait, guys, look how cute this is. Kai made me tea. So that it can stay warm.
It gets cold up here. My tea gets cold so fast.
It is literally cold up here. I'm going to put it back over here. Where am I least likely to kick it over? That's so awesome, right? Cool. So we're finding a comfortable seat. Take my. That's so awesome. Take my money, so you can leave tips in Venmo. And I won't send you one of those cute little cups, but all right. Thank you for throwing that tip thing right down. Yeah, tips are appreciated. They allow me to do fun things like run away to Chica. Well, really, I'm not at the point where tips are paying for me to go and travel at all. I am definitely at a place where tips are helping me pay my internet and electricity bills, which is hella appreciated. Oh yeah, the plug. You guys are the best. I love you. All right. Oh, so finding a comfortable seated position. Chest comes over heart. Head comes over. Chest comes over hips. Head comes over heart. Today's going to be great, guys. Today's going to be on point. Hands come to rest on the lap, either palms down to ground down, or palms up to give and receive energy if that's, you feel you got a little extra to give today. Eyes can close if that's comfortable. If not, you can just gently lower your eyes, lower your gaze to the ground just ahead of your legs. We'll start class with 3 cleansing breaths. In through the nose, shoulders rise up to the ears. And exhaling through the mouth with an audible sigh, shoulders drop away. Allow the breathing to continue just in and out through your nose if that's available. We'll just take a moment here to arrive. Let go of everything that came before and everything that's to come up after. And just become present to yourself here in this moment, here in this space. And beginning to allow sounds into your awareness. Perhaps the sound of passing traffic or chirping birds outside the window. allowing all sounds in, all part of this moment, this experience. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. And the weight where your body makes contact with the ground below you. The weight of your hands on your lap. And begin to scan the body from head down towards toes. Checking in for any places of tightness or sensitivity. Any restlessness or fidgeting. Just taking note to work into those spaces in particular throughout our practice here today. We'll shift that awareness from the body, Annamaya Kosha, to the energy level, Pranamaya Kosha. Just notice where you are at energetically in this particular moment on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being exhausted, fatigued, ready to crawl into bed, 10 being so full of energy it's hard to sit still. And shift that attention up to the breath. No need to change the breath, just observe inhalations, exhalations, and whatever holding in between. And bring the attention up to the mind, Manomaya Kosha. Allowing thoughts and emotions to arise. But no need to engage with them. Just allow them to float by like clouds passing in the sky. And just notice what are the quality of the thoughts today. Are they short, fragmented pieces of ideas or a long, drawn-out drama? Are they reminiscing in the past or attempting to predict the future? Not right or wrong, not good or bad, just something to notice. And we'll bring that awareness back down to the breath, this time actively expanding the breath. Every inhale sips in a little more air. And every exhale lets something more go. Still seated up tall in your seat, crown of the head towards the sky. Jaws relaxed, space between top and bottom teeth. Inhales fill belly like a balloon expanding. And exhale as draw belly button in towards spine, deflating. Inhale fills belly and ribs. Exhale releases ribs, then belly. Inhale fills belly, ribs, and chest, air filling all the way up till the collarbones. Exhale releases chest, ribs, and belly. Breathing like that in 3 parts from bottom to top. And exhaling top to bottom. At your own breath's pace. Attempting to slow down the breath, attempting to deepen the breath with each round. This Dirga Pranayam 3-part breath calms the body out of sympathetic fight or flight mode and brings the body into parasympathetic rest and digest, calming the nervous system and building relationship with the breath. On your next exhale, you can release any effort on that breath and just come back to a natural pace, perhaps affected by that pranayama. Invite the hands to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. No space between the fingers and the thumbs are pressing into the sternum. Here, consider setting an intention or a dedication for your practice. It might be the sankalpa, the heart's desire you've been working with all month, or something new might inspire you today. And we'll seal that intention with the sound of Om. You're invited to chant along with me. First, a cleansing breath. Allow the hands to release down to the lap. Chin drops towards chest. Then inhale, right ear rolls over towards right shoulder. Exhaling, chin rolls down through chest. And left ear rolls over left shoulder. And allowing the neck to roll side to side. Bring some movement back into the body. And the next time the head rolls through center, bring it up to neutral and begin to roll the shoulders forward. And eyes can stay lowered or closed for this. You know how to do it. Just opening up the space, the upper back, collarbones, change directions, rolling the shoulders back. having a stillness in the shoulders. Look over the right knee. The shoulders stay forward, just neck looks over the right knee. Then drop your chin towards your chest. And grab the right hand and just place it on the top back of your head. So we're not pulling down, but just the weight of gravity is enough. So you should feel like a gentle stretch on the back, left part of your neck, just letting the left shoulder and arm be completely heavy and relaxed. And releasing the hand from the head, bring the head back up through center. We'll look over the left knee, drop chin towards chest, and left hand comes to land on the back of the head, back right part of the head. And just let gravity kind of do the work here. And the back is straight up tall, but otherwise everything else is relaxed. We're just breathing into that trapezius muscle where the neck connects with the upper back. We'll release the hand from the head, bring the head back up to neutral. Let's just work on opening up more of those spaces in the spine with that functional movement in the neck. I'm going to turn to the side just so you can see what I am doing. You can stay facing the screen, so we stay seated up tall. Chin drops down towards chest. And we're leading with the nose. Nose is reaching all the way down, all the way forward, all the way up, back. Can't go back any further. Chin tucks back down towards chest. So we're drawing this nice big circle with the nose. And just attempting to smooth it out. Shoulders are still, the rest of the body's totally still. Just the neck and head are moving. And still we're breathing. Moving slow and smooth. And we're going to change directions. The head looks up. Now we're leading with the chin. Chin comes forward and then down like a scoop. All the way back in and out. It's really tempting to move the shoulders here to accomplish this movement. The shoulders are just melted down by the side. They have nothing to do with it. Bringing the head back to center. All right. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And exhale over to the right. Right hand comes down, left arm reaches over. Inhale up through center. And exhale over to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, side. I think I got my rights and my lefts mixed up, but you get the idea. We're breathing in and rising through center. Breathing out to a lateral bend to the side. Center, and we'll twist here Left hand comes down to right knee, right hand lands on the ground behind you, just opening the chest towards the side wall. Inhale, back up through center. And exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Back to center. We'll bend the elbows. And hands come to about ear height. Let's just warm up the wrists a bit. Giving the hands a wave. And then like playing piano. Palms turned down. We're not moving the elbows. We're just focusing on warming up the hands and wrists in this movement. Then palms flip back. Hands are pressed back as far as they can go. Fingers spread wide, and it's like tossing pizzas. So these are all really great wrist resiliency techniques and really bad piano and pizza tossing techniques. So you've been warned. Just give it a little shake out. Alright, I'm going to bring the legs out in front. I'm going to actually move this back to the yoga mat. Legs come out in front. We're going to spread and scrunch the toes. I'm going to put light on where I'm actually going to be standing. Not sure. It should help. It helps. Excellent. Spread and scrunch the toes. Roll out the ankles. I'm not ready to take my socks off. It's only like 10 degrees colder here in Chico than San Diego this morning, but
It's something about like the air, the elevation, or something that just makes it feel colder.
it feels colder. But it's okay, we're about to warm up. Okay. I think this is gonna help. Like a little bit closer. Cool. So, okay, knees bend, feet come max distance apart. I'm going to just drop the knees side to side, so allowing the hips to begin to wake up. Yep, there we go. The knees fall over to the right. Right hand close to the right hip. Left arm sweeps over, lifting up onto the knees. Giving that top arm just 2 big circles. And releasing back down onto the hips. We'll drop or gently place the knees over to the left. So the knees stay on the ground. Just the hips and chest rise. So you're stable. 2 big circles here. Just be mindful if you have really hard floors, maybe not coming up onto the knees, going down onto the ground. We'll drop the knees over to the right. Hands come forward to come into our tabletop pose. Wrists below shoulders, knees below hips, and definitely put a blanket or a pillow underneath your knees. Just watching you practice on hardwood floors and dying of anxiety. Okay, excellent. So, belly drops, hips and chest rise for cow pose. Inhaling. And exhaling, rounding in the spine, chin tucks towards chest. Inhale through cow pose. Hips and chest, chest rise, belly drops. Exhale through cat pose. So we're going to add a little bit of a different motion to our cat and cow stretches as we exhale through cat. And then we're going, let's see, how do we do this?
so here we are. Inhale through cat. And then press it back towards child's. The toes can tuck under for a bit of a foot stretch. So I'm pressing back into child's pose, like a variation of child's pose where my knees aren't splayed out. They're still under my hips. Stretching out the shoulders. And then we're going to press it open through cat. So I'm rounding in the spine to come forward. Inhale to cow. Pressing it back. Heels towards hips. Hips towards heels. And then rounding in the spine to come back forward for cat pose. So it's just like a little bit of a wider stance than normal, and we're just gonna smooth out that movement. So it becomes a nice, much longer cycle. We just got one more circle like that. Nice, and then coming back to center, we'll sweep the right arm open towards the sky. And exhale, weave it through without landing. Inhale, back, sweep open. Exhale, weave. Once more like that. And we're landing this time. Landing right shoulder onto the ground. Back of the right arm's pressed into the ground. Right hand pressing into the ground, keeping the or the left hand pressing into the ground, keeping the chest open. So we're twisting in the spine, and the bottom arm, the right arm is pressing stronger or less strong into the ground to give that shoulder blade, that scapula, a bit of a stretch. Here's triangulating where the nicest stretch is on that side by pressing into the ground with the bottom arm. Maybe you want to play with balance, in which case you would extend the left leg long. My toes are still touching the ground, just to start. For me, it feels good to bring my left arm up overhead, sort of stretch, grabbing my mat if you don't have to. Maybe the toes point, so now my foot is just floating. You might even levitate up, but nice and slow. Momentum is not your friend here. Breath is your friend. We want to keep breathing, even when we're doing things that are difficult. And returning nice and gentle, like pressing rewind. The toes touch down to the ground, knees come into alignment, left hand comes in front of the face, right arm sweeps open, twisted tabletop, and hand touches down. I'm just going to turn so that I can keep facing you. Left arm sweeps up overhead, not overhead, towards the side, opening the chest. And exhale, arm reaches through without landing towards the twist. Inhale, arm sweeps open. Exhale, reach it through. Last time, arm sweeps open. And exhale, the arm sweeps through, this time landing the head and shoulder onto the ground. Bottom arms pressed into the earth. Right hands pressing into the ground to leverage the right shoulder open. Press stronger or harder into the bottom arm to locate where the nicest stretch is for that scapula, that shoulder blade. Might feel good to change the placement of this top hand, maybe reaching it up overhead. That's not a more advanced version or anything. That's just another option that might feel good in your body. To play with balance here, perhaps the right leg comes back and straight. This is a great place to be too, because you can grip your toes on the ground if you're not wearing socks, and press your heel back like your heel is going to touch the ground, straightening your leg, pressing the knee up towards the sky to get a nice calf stretch. Alternately, you can play with that balance, pointing the toe and slowly levitating the foot up. All the while we're breathing. All the while we're breathing, even in the discomfort of a pose. Oh, I can see we just got a raid. Perfect, because we're upside down. Hello, raiders. I'll see your names in one more deep breath. We're going to float the foot down, nice and gentle. Just touches down, release the knee to the ground. Right hand comes in front of the face, left arm sweeps open. And hand touches down, back to tabletop pose. All right, ooh, here we go. Oh wow, Peachy Clementine, thanks for the raid, my friend. Oh my goodness, hello, 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 hello. Welcome to morning yoga. Oh yes, the fluff. All right, so that's the Luna bear.
Laziest husky in all the land.
The Luna. Welcome to Northern California. Welcome to Saturday yoga. Oh, that dog. Yeah. Yeah. She's a bear. She's actually a bear. We found her. So, welcome to, he is the floof. Yes, she is the floofiest. The floofiest of all the floofs. And she hasn't woken up at all.
Nope.
She just
so over
We
it.
just rolled in at 1:30 in the morning and she's like, I'm done. Even though she slept the entire way. So, we're doing some all levels yoga. We just rolled through our warm-ups. And we got probably another half hour of movement, so you're welcome to join. You're all absolutely welcome to join. And yeah. Is this regular style yoga or extreme? Mm-hmm. It's regular style yoga. It's very adaptable. It's all levels. So, thank you, thank you. So we're going to take a step forward with the right foot, step forward with the left foot, heel toe the feet out to the edges, nice and wide, the knees are bent. Let your head be heavy. And we're just going to bend and extend one leg and then the other. So we're just beginning to wake up the legs. What's your stream about? Yeah, what is your stream about, Peachy Clementine? Yeah, what you guys all just come from doing? Thanks so much for heading over here. Cool, cool. And then once your legs are a bit more warmed up, you can keep a little bend to them, and we're going to give a nod yes with the head. Just letting the head be heavy. Shake it out, no. Then you can grab opposite elbows, like creating a frame for your head. Chatting, cooking, singing, dancing, crafts. Oh my gosh, you sound like the funnest person ever. We're just going to give it a wave side to side. So this pose is called ragdoll. There's no really wrong way of doing it. You just don't want to have your knees locked out. You want to have a bend to them. Because we're just beginning to warm up the back with our front. This is our first big forward fold. Just keep it flowy. Little bounce. We'll release the hands down to the ground, heel toe the feet in together, coming towards the top of your mat. Big toes come to touch, a little space between the ankles. Inhale to a halfway lift. Now the legs straighten out and the hands come onto the shins. Crown of the head towards the wall ahead of you and hips towards the wall behind. Deep breath in here. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale rolls you up all the way to stand. One vertebra at a time. The arms just hang heavy. This is like the second half of a Jefferson curl. So we're coming up one vertebra at a time. Heavy head comes up last. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Eyes follow fingertips. Maybe the head tilts back for a little throat opening. Exhale, forward fold. Hands come through heart center. Bend in the knees to protect the lower back. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on shins. So it should feel like your spine's getting longer in this pose. And exhale, hands down to the ground. Right foot takes a giant step back. Heel toe your left foot a bit further to the left and your right foot a bit further to the right. So it's not like you're on a balance beam, it's more like you're on railroad tracks. Cool, cool, cool. And we're coming up to a high lunge. So the left knee's over left ankle, or we're bringing the chest over the hips. You can do that with a nice slow sweep. Remember, momentum is not your best friend here. Or you can use your thigh as a stepping stone. What does that mean? Let's come down to it. Bring you up over. Shoulders over the hips. If you are stuck here and you're just like, I can't move back any further, bend in your back knee. This is not a step down in difficulty. If anything, it's more difficult to have the back knee bent when it comes to strength. When it comes to flexibility, you're getting a deeper stretch in that right thigh with the heel pressing down and back. Use my thigh as a stepping stone? Yes, for the top half of your body. Is that like that's probably a weird way of wording it, I'm sure. But just wait, I got plenty of those. So, the right hip's pressing forward, left hip's pulling back, hips are square. So if there were strings attaching from my hip bones, going forward, they would hit the wall and be the same length. So scissoring in towards center action. Arms come up overhead, deep breath in. And exhale, shoulders melt away from the ears. So it's like a little bend in the elbows. Your next deep breath in, you might gaze up for a little balance challenge, a little chest opening. And exhale, hands come down to the ground. Step the left foot back to meet the right for our plank pose. Straight line from the heels to the crown of the head. Deep breath in here, pressing the ground away. And exhale, hi Swiss. Good to see you Saturday. We're lowering down chaturanga. Just lowering down halfway, elbows bend at 90 degrees. Tops of the feet, flip. Pressing the hips down, reaching the chest up, upward facing dog. Today we're going to drop the knees down and lower the body all the way down. I feel like this sweater, I love this sweater too, and it's super nice and warm. You can't see what I'm actually doing. So, we're going to strengthen our backs today. You look pretty good at this. Oh, Dilbert, Carolina, thank you. All right, so what we're gonna do is come all the way down onto the bellies, onto your belly. Tops of the feet are pressed into the ground. So the shoelace part of the feet pressed into the ground. Arms open up to the sides and then come down by your sides like your fingertips are gonna touch your feet. Mouth, chin, and forehead come center. Squeezing the glutes, hips pressing to the ground. And the chest and shoulders rise, so do the arms. Tops of the feet still pressing into the ground, so that's a little bit of the challenge. And we'll lower down. We've got 10 lifts like this. To up the intensity a bit, your arms can come out to the sides like the letter T. Same deal. Chest and shoulders rise. Shoulder blades squeeze together. And on the exhale, we lower down. To bring up the intensity even more, Arm can come forward like Superman, and as you inhale, you lift it up, chest and shoulders, and the arms raise up as well. Exhaling brings you back down. So you just find like the positioning for the arms that feels challenging but doable for you. Inhaling to rise. All the while we're pressing the hips into the ground, not pressing any pressure into the lower back. And exhale, lower. Inhale to rise. Exhale, lower. So we're halfway. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Rise. Lower. So we're strengthening the erector spinae, the backside body here. Those good posture muscles. Inhaling, try. So we got 3 left. Two, shoulder blades squeeze together and lower. And last one. Bring it up, hold it up. Maybe the legs rise as well. It depends on your lower back. Listen to your lower back over my voice. So the space between the shoulders and the ears. So maybe the shoulders have climbed up here. We're just avoiding that. So this is a variation of Savasana, locust pose. We got another deep breath in, really reaching forward to the chest, reaching back with the toes, and let it go. All right. One cheek can rest on the ground. You can bend in the knees and windshield wiper the feet side to side. Whew. All right. Then arms open up like the letter T. With the knees, So the right knee bends and bring the right hip over the left hip. So we're gonna open up. That left arm still has palm down. So I'm opening right hip and chest to give this left shoulder a stretch. Right arm can even reach back, but this might already be intense enough, so don't get hung up on where this right hand does. So stretching out the left shoulder really deep here. You want to be listening to what your shoulder is saying, because your back or your chest might be able to go further than your shoulder, but we don't want to pop anything. This right foot I'm just placing on the ground behind my left leg. Then we're going to change sides. So the hand comes down first, then leg unwinds. Okay? Right hand opens like the letter T. Use the left hand on the ground just as stability as we bring the left foot up and over. So I'm rolling the body, rolling the left hip and left shoulder over the right to give this right shoulder a stretch. Maybe this left hand comes back. Like my hands don't reach and grab one another, but if you've got that, that's also available. You just want to do what's going to feel best for this right shoulder, the shoulder that's on the bottom. And that includes breathing deep. Every exhale is an opportunity to relax something in the pose. We bring the top hand back in front of the face for stability. Bring the left hip back down to the ground. Beautiful. So we're going to bring we can call this a Superman challenge. Yeah, I love it. No, you're not at all. I just can't read as fast. I can't read when my face is down. While your toes staying down. Because it helps engage the lower body so that the lower leg doesn't cat, too much. I think a lot of people are just, following along with the practice. Ethereal at Bodhi. Speaking my language. All right. So pressing the hips up and back, big toes come to touch, knees space up, and hips press back for a child's pose. So this is going to be our standard child's pose compared to what we did earlier. Tops of the hands pressing to the ground hard enough that the elbows stay lifted. And let's give those shoulders a stretch in a different direction. So we're really going hard on the upper back and shoulders today. You're going to walk the hands back. Knees come together. If you can't sit comfortably on your heels, we're just here for a moment. You can also place a pillow between your heels and your hips to alleviate any tension in the knees, but you are going to want a towel or a mat below your knees for this next pose. The hands come back behind you, fingers interlace like you're holding your own hand. To the best of your ability, you can bring your palms together. If you don't reach, you can grab a belt, a sock, a bandana to close the gap. Did I shave my head for a reason? Yeah, I did. I did, to raise money for the Boston Children's Hospital through the Children's Miracle Network. And we raised $22,000, so it's totally worth cutting my hair. So, we're seated up tall. Fingers are pressed down towards the feet. Even if your hands aren't together, you just like have Superman hands, or you have your hands in a belt, we're still pulling the shoulders down and back behind you. Deep breath in. Exhale, and we're going to come down. If you want, you can watch me do this first so that you don't have to turn your head when your neck is compromised. But the forehead comes down to the ground. We roll into the flat part of your head. So the flat part of your head, you don't want to go past it. We're not stretching out the neck here at all. The arms come up towards the sky for a stretch. Maybe they even fall forward. But see if they do. If your palms come apart, just bring the palms back together, even if that's feels less deep. It's just going to be more in alignment with your body. It's called Yoga Mudra pose, symbol of yoga. As the heart is higher than the head. We're just breathing into this shoulder stretch here. And since this is an inversion, the hips are higher than the heart, we're going to gently come out of it by bringing the hands down to the lower back. Bring the hips down to the heels. Hands come by the head, and bring yourself back upright. So just taking a breath here for a moment. Pressing it into tabletop pose. Toes tuck under, hips press up high for downward facing dog. So here you can pedal out the knees, bending one leg and then the other. And finding your spacing. So the closer your feet are to your hands, the deeper the stretch in the backs of the legs. The farther your feet are from your hands, the deeper the stretch in the shoulders. So you're going to find a nice place in the middle. Heels are pressed down towards the ground. It doesn't matter if the heels touch or not. It's just a matter of, that's the direction of the energy of the body. Chest and head are heavy here. Fingers are spread wide. Eyes stay open, looking between the knees or between the hands. Deep breath in and out. And then looking up between the hands, we'll bend the knees deep. Or actually, take it back. We're going to bring it back to downward facing dog. Right leg reaches up and back behind you, just straight back. And exhale, knee in towards nose through tiger. Bringing the right foot all the way forward between the hands. So now the left foot is back. And make sure I'm not on a balance beam. Bring the right foot towards the right, left foot towards the left. Right knee is over right ankle, and we're coming up to that high lunge. However you get there is just great. Checking in with the hips. Right hips pulling back, left hips pressing forward. So the tendency for the hips to start to splay open, but instead we want to keep them nice and square. Pressing back through the back heel, back of the knees pressing towards the sky for a nice stretch in the left hip. Alternately, if you can't get your shoulders over your hips, or you want to work on strength more than flexibility for this leg, bend in the back knee. That's going to make it easier for the alignment of the top body. Arms come up overhead. And exhale, shoulders melt away. We got 2 more breaths here. And this last breath, maybe the gaze rises, maybe the arms reach back for a baby back bend. And exhale, hands come down to the ground. Left foot steps up to meet right foot. Big toes come to touch, a little space between the heels. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale brings you all the way up to stand. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands to heart center. Nice. And we'll turn to face one another. Cool. Just figuring out this new space, guys. Thank you. All right. So, hands come onto the hips. Right knee opens out to the side. I'll just bring the ankle in. So we're just going to play with tree pose for a moment here. And then like bringing the foot up to the calf. Or even the inner thigh. You can use the hand to help you get that foot up there. Remember, we're trying to keep the knee back and the hips pressed forward. So that from the side, you're like a paper doll between 2 panes of glass. Don't let the knee come forward. If you need to bring the knee forward, just keep the foot at a lower level. And that's totally fine, totally valuable and valid. The trick to keeping the foot up here without having your hand holding it is all about the squeeze between the foot and the leg. And we do that by pressing the hips forward. Squeeze through the glutes, hips pressing forward just like they were pressing into the ground for our Shalambhasana locust pose. Hands can press together at heart center and our prayer pose, Anjali Mudra, or you might even stretch the hands up overhead. And bring it back down through center. Float that foot down. So this left foot's going to want to shake out. Just give it a moment and just notice. Want versus need. If it still wants to shake out, give it that roll out. So we're not working on shaming ourselves for doing things. We're just checking in. What are we doing automatically? What's necessary? Left knee opens out to the side, hands come onto the hips. Drag that foot in to find the placing, ankle, calf, or inner thigh. One side might be different than the other. And it's also like everyone's not an essentialist, right? So maybe even if something's not essential, we want it in our lives, we enjoy it, and that's cool too. But there's an intention behind that being brought into our lives or being encouraged in our lives. Even if the foot is on the calf or not the knee, because it's terrible for your ACL. So we're going to keep it on the calf or the thigh. The knee's so tempting because the arch of your foot fits perfectly on the inside of your knee, but it's going to wear and tear on your ACL. Maybe not your first tree pose, maybe not your 50th, but your 200th. Believe me, they rack up quickly. So here we are, Vrksasana. Maybe hands come to heart center. And there's like a lot of a seemingly like simple shape. There's a lot going on here. As the foot's pressing into the ground,
the top foot's pressing into the leg's pressing back, the hips are pressing forward, the chest is staying lifted, the crown of the head's towards the sky, there's a string pulling you up towards the sky. And then the hands are just like the icing on the cake. Like we're just, you know, cactus or palm tree or like pine tree. Like you got all the waving tree in the wind. You do whatever you want with your arms, but there's so much going on with the rest that it's all good. If you're just resetting and all of that, that's just awesome. Like good for you. Beginning again. There's resiliency in beginning again after perceived failure. It's a yoga class. We're just making shapes. There's really no failure. Okay? Perceived being the key word of that line. So we're just going to float this leg down. We're just going to let it go. We're going to let it all go for our lymphatic shake. So I was just saying about don't shake your body or like don't automatically shake. This is like the opposite. This is like the most intentional shaking you're ever going to do. So I'm just going to bring a bounce to the body and just let the shoulders start to flop. And the arms are flopping. And give the hands a shake out. So you can be like full bouncing here, or you can just lift the heels and let them drop down. We're like trying to get that jiggle. And like it doesn't matter how you look because nobody can see you. You can just see me, which is fine. So we're just warming everything up. And we're like, wow, I don't want to do this anymore. Just double time. Building up that heat. Building up that heart rate. You can be breathing through the mouth. You can exhale through. You can be breathing through the mouth now instead of just in and out through the nose, how we've been practicing during class. And you just like, you can take up like the whole space of your mat. So this is used to treat trauma. If you think about like dogs, they like shake out their bodies when they are really stressed. Prey animals also when they escape a near-death experience, like if a rabbit almost gets caught by a wolf but escapes, they shake their bodies to relieve the trauma of that experience and then go about eating clovers the rest of the day. So that's basically what we're doing here. And also we're helping drain the lymphatic system. Just move some stuck energy. Okay, so the next part is our 4-part breath. Our breath of joy. Okay, 100% you're cool with us waking up your roommates.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, I'm pretty sure they're already awake.
Okay. So if you have roommates, maybe apologize to them ahead of time or invite them tomorrow. So it looks like this. It's an inhale, arms sweep forward. We're just breathing in 1/3 of the air. Inhale, arms sweep out, another 1/3 of your air capacity. Inhale, arms sweep forward, the rest of your air in, and a big ha! Arms sweep back, like through chair pose. Yeah? So, in, ha! In, ha! And you just yell as loud as you can. In, ha! In, ha! 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 3 more if you haven't joined in yet. Now's your chance. Ha! Ha! Last one, make it count. Ha!
Every morning I hate it. I'm like, damn.
So we're just going to turn. Bring your feet nice and wide, hand on your heart, hand on your belly. And just notice what shows up for you. Increased heart rate, increased breath rate, but what else? Giving the snow globe of your body a righteous shake. Notice where that glitter dust falls and settles. What is revealed. What shows up when you get out of your own way and let go? Or what shows up to stop you from letting go? Whose judgment do you fear? And gently blink the eyes open. You can take a sip of water, towel up. If you raise some sweat, I'm colder than ever.
You'll get used to it.
Well, it's good. It's good.
Your body will adjust.
I'm gonna change my this.
We
You
are
don't
not in
have
San
to.
Diego anymore.
Yeah, we're not in Kansas anymore. We are not in San Diego anymore, people. We're north of the wall.
Not the wall.
All the Canadians on stream are like, really?
Queen beyond the wall.
All right. If you're already on the ground, stay there. I'll meet ya. If you're not, come with me. Top of the mat. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, hands on shins. And exhale, bend in the knees deep, 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 so deep. There we come to seated. Nice. Okay. So I've got one more chest opening, upper back opening thing for you. I'm gonna come on to kneeling. And then yes, definitely place something cushiony, but beneath your knees. If you have blocks, you can place them by the sides of your heels, like yoga blocks on the tall height. We're coming up to kneeling, a little space between the knees. So it's gonna be, I'm not gonna give you inches because it's like different for everybody. Every space, body. Toes tuck under. You're gonna bring the right hand back to the right heel, or that block. And then this left arm is gonna draw nice big circles. So full rotation of this shoulder. So any clicks or cracks, it's all good, no judgment. Nice. And then the next time the arm comes forward, we're going to use the to come back up to neutral. Left hand comes down onto the left heel or that block. And the right arm begins to make those big circles. The hips are pressing forward just enough to keep the hips over the heels, right? Not, even though I can go further, we're just keeping them nice and stable. So we can just focus on the chest and the shoulder here. Next time the arms forward, use that to bring it forward. Take a breath here in neutral, and we're going to go back into our, so that was Ardha Vrksasana, half camel pose. Is this one better so you can see me with the light? Maybe. Okay. So here, bring your hands onto our backs, like if you were wearing high-waisted jeans, they'd go into pockets. We keep the hips tucked under, just like we've been doing with locust pose, with tree pose. The chest lifts up. Maybe the hands lower onto the heels. This time it's in center, so the shoulders really need to be opened up. Shoulders are pulling down and away. Chest is lifting towards the sky. Hips are pressing forward. Maybe it feels okay for the head to release back. So listen to your neck over my voice. That's just the icing on the cake. Still, it's a lifted, tight feeling. So we're trying to open the upper back here, open the chest, Vrksasana. We're breathing fully, even in a contortion of the posture. So back bends, heart openers, open up a lot of vulnerability in our minds as well as our bodies. So if you feel anxiety starting to creep up, use that Dirga Pranayama. Use that 3-part breath to slow you down. And chin tucks towards chest. Hands can come onto the lower back for stability to bring you all the way back upright. Untuck the toes, drop your hips to one side. And just give a moment for the lower back to kind of neutralize. I kind of do that by like a, butterfly, little kid butterfly wing flapping. The hips come into a forward fold here. So in Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, that's just this diamond pose. In the darkness. Better. Okay. So grabbing onto the feet or the ankles, we'll take a deep breath in to get tall. And exhale, belly, chest, head comes forward. So it's not even like I'm trying to get my feet to my head. It's almost like I'm trying to get my chest to my feet. And then elbows can press into the knees to give the hips a little bit of a stretch, but we haven't done lots of deep hip opening in this direction. So it doesn't have to, you don't have to hit any personal records today. You might just let your head hang heavy to give a deeper stretch in the back. But if this brings any pain or tension to your lower back, then instead keep a nose past the toes type reach with the head. Let the shoulders relax. Bring it back up to seated. You can use your hands for that press up. And come down into reclining. So knees hug in towards chest. Give yourself a little rock side to side. Give your lower back a bit of a massage. I always like rolling out my feet, basically any chance I get in life. And then both knees come over to the right. Right hand lands on top of left knee. And left arm opens up like the letter T. You can look over the left hand. Left shoulder's pressing down towards the ground. Supta Matsyendrasana, supine spinal twist. Every exhale, let something more go. The whole body's relaxed here, just the left shoulder's pressing towards the ground. So you did a lot of deep twisting yesterday. So just notice revisiting this positioning in the body. How's it feeling? Is it feeling familiar? Is it feeling foreign? Is it feeling fill in the blank? Head comes up through center. Knees come up through center. Now let the knees gently come over to the left. Right arm opens up like the letter T. Left hand lands on top of the left knee. And maybe the head looks over the right arm to complete that spinal twist, to give it a nice even stretch on the other side. Just my right shoulder is pressing down to the ground. Otherwise, everything's just relaxed.
And then just notice also how your chest and shoulders feel in this twist. Now I'm telling you to bring the shoulder down to the ground. How does it feel in comparison to other days that we've practiced this pose? After doing all of those chest and shoulder opening stretches. Bring the head back up through center, bring the knees up through center. And then just notice, is there any last stretch or wiggle or pose that your body's asking for that would round out your practice? Any body part that called out for your attention that perhaps you didn't address during our first body scan, now is a great opportunity to roll through whatever that might look like. It doesn't have to have a name. It can just be some intuitive movement, if you will. Just want to round out the practice before our Savasana final relaxation pose. Taking your time to make any preparations necessary for that. That might also look like grabbing a blanket to cover your body, putting on socks as your body temperature will lower as we go into this posture, this next exercise. Put a blanket over your body, and then what it looks like is laying flat on your back with your legs extended out in front. You're going to bring about a foot of space between your heels, and then the legs are so relaxed that the feet naturally splay open to the sides. If lying flat on your back brings pain to your lower back, then you can just keep the knees bent by placing a pillow or a blanket below the knees. Alternately, you can bring your feet nice and wide to the edges of your mat and just let the knees knock together. Broken bridge. And then I just tuck the belly up, hips up, and lower the hips down to the ground so the lower back's nice and long. Or the legs are out down long, right? The hands release down by the sides, palms face open to the sky, hands at least 6 inches from the body. A symbol, a mudra of receptivity. Allow yourself to receive the full benefits of your effort here today. The head is straight up towards the sky. I like to tuck my shoulder blades underneath just so my chest can feel nice and open and supported, and the eyes can close. Or if that's uncomfortable for you, you can just keep a soft gaze towards the sky, towards the ceiling. Stay reclining. I'm going to sit up so I can more comfortably lead you through this meditation, and also play some Tibetan singing bowls for you. We're going to start this practice, or this meditation, just like we started our first grounding practice, with 3 cleansing breaths. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Highly encourage the audible sigh. So allow the breathing to continue just in and out through the nose if that's available. Inviting your exhalations to become longer and deeper than your inhalations. The reason we practice Savasana is to integrate all that we practice throughout the class.
So much like sleeping at the end of your day helps to finish the digestion process, the allowing information to actually sink. Good morning, Luna. Actually sink into
Luna did not like the bowl.
sink into your memory. So memories are created, information is turned into knowledge, foods processed into nutrients, etc. At night, in Savasana, all of these poses and exercises, stretches, and strengthening is transformed into Vajna Maya Kosha level, our wisdom, our own body's wisdom. These new pathways and new shapes that we make with our body, new challenges with the breath, they create new pathways within our neural network, new pathways in the brain, new ways of connecting left and right lobes of the brain. Just inviting space between top and bottom teeth as the jaw hangs heavy. And the tongue can fall away from the roof of the mouth. As all the muscles surrounding the lips and jaw relax. Cheeks, nose and nostrils release. Air gently passing through the nostrils, through the nose, like waves lapping up to shore. Eyes rest heavy in their sockets. Eyelids just barely touching. And the space between the eyebrows broadens as the muscles of the forehead relax. And the ears with all their wrinkles and folds, ear canals, all the muscles surrounding the ears relax. Whole back of the head, top of the head relaxes. Throat and neck release. Shoulders and shoulder blades melt away. Upper arms and elbows relax. Forearms and wrists rest. And the palms, backs of the hands, knuckles, fingers, fingertips, fingernail beds, whole hands alive with vibration, whole hands alive with creative potential. Rest and integrate all that you practice. Upper, middle, and lower back. Rest heavy, supported by the earth below. Chest gently rising and falling. Belly naturally rising and falling with the breath. Hips, glutes, pelvis, rest heavy and grounded. Thighs and knees melt away. Lower legs and ankles relax. And heels, arches, toe ball mounds, tops of the feet, and all of the toes relax. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Allow for everything that did and did not happen in class today. Know that in yoga, practice makes practice. Nothing more, nothing less. And gently invite your inhalations to deepen and become longer than your exhalations. Every inhale, bringing the attention to the surface front side of the body and away from the back. That feeling of heaviness replaced with a feeling of openness and expansion as you begin to wiggle fingers and toes. And the head can gently rock side to side. Arms can sweep up overhead for a full body stretch. And the knees bend and roll over to whichever side feels natural, landing in a fetal position. Fully released and fully supported by the ground below you. Bring to mind any intention or dedication you set for class today, or an invitation to set one now. And if that intention inspires you, take it with you off the mat and into the world. Allow it to affect you and the people around you for the rest of your day. With eyes still closed or gently lowered, press your hands into the ground to come up to a seated position, just like how we started class. Hands come to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. Today we worked on a series of exercises that open up the chest and shoulders. The first namaste is said silently to yourself, thanking your body for the effort it put into class. And the second namaste is said out loud to everyone that held this space. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course, thank you.
Thank you. For everyone who joined me today for practice, I appreciate each and every one of you. Your energy does affect the class. Namaste, Swiss. Namaste, Oya Hydrangea. Oleri on Facebook. Gracias por practicar, tía. Thank you, raiders, and everyone who stuck around from the raid. I always hang out after for tea, and just to answer if anyone has any questions, yoga related or otherwise. Usually they're yoga related because that's what we do here. Kitty Snacks, yay! I love having you here. You are really, really good energy. I hope you enjoyed class this morning. I hope that everyone who joined found something that serves them. I do. Whatever that might be. You can come and sit if you want. So this is whose house I'm in. Luna Bears. This is her pet, Kaya.
I'm Luna's pet. She keeps me around.
So yeah, I'm gonna be up here in Chico, so like in Northern California for the next week, and then next week we're traveling all over. So, but not traveling all over really. We're staying in the area, but we're just gonna be going on hikes everywhere, and so I'll be streaming. I'm gonna do my best to be streaming from the cabins and cottages that we'll be staying in.
Multiple cabins, multiple cottages, multiple forests, multiple mountains. So we have a lot of adventuring.
Yeah, so I'm going to do the best that I can with, 100% for the rest of the week. You've got me, because this Wi-Fi worked good, right? Nobody complained about the connection, I don't think. There was like a whole bunch of stuff happening in chat that I couldn't follow along because it was right in the middle of class, but I don't think connection was one of the things people were talking about, so that's good. So we're definitely solid for streaming here. We've got Luna in the background. She's like solid.
Luna had a rough ride yesterday, so she's really tired today.
It was kind of great though because she just got to be adorable in the background without like actually jumping on me the whole time.
We'll see how the rest of the week is though.
We'll see how the rest of the week goes. Yeah. So, yeah. How was that for your?
Oh, so much better. So much better. Yeah, I was like this when I woke up, like, all right, let's do yoga. And I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was like all shoulder work today.
Yeah.
So I usually go for the hips when I'm like do a long car ride, but I know you have like upper back stuff, so I'm like, nope, that'll be good for me too.
Yep.
Yay! Tomorrow will be a whole month that we've been practicing. Yes, is that true?
Yeah. Tomorrow, what's today's date?
Tomorrow's the 31st.
Yeah, so we'll take Tuesday next, technically 30.
Wow. Yeah, and we started on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Wild. She's so peaceful. I loved it. Such a cute puppy. Yeah. She was like, spitting singing bowls, my ass.
Yeah.
Bye.
She was not having that. I was holding Luna in Savasana.
Guys, once at a party, I was at a house party or I was throwing a house party. And there was like a bunch of people who showed up who I hadn't invited, but that's pretty normal. Like, you've been to my parties.
Mm-hmm.
They get pretty Project XE. Or they used to back
in the day.
Way before the Rona.
Way before the Rona.
And 9 Easy, hello friend. Did you make it for class? You just joining in for tea? Welcome. I'm happy to see you. And there's some people messing with my like yoga stuff, just like, I don't know, like not messing with it, but like looking through it, and I was like, oh, do you know how to play one of these? Like, because they were like, oh, it's like a bell and like planking on it and stuff, and I'm like, okay, no. No. And I was like showing them how to do it. I started playing it, and this girl who had been rude to me, or she definitely didn't know it was my house, my apartment, like had been rude to me earlier, was like, oh my god, that is the worst sound I've ever heard. Like, it's literally giving me like chills in the worst way. I'm like, oh, that's because your chakras are unaligned, and this is how you're having a resistance to this frequency. And I didn't know that she was tripping on acid, and this girl like spiraled so quick into a hole.
Oh, no.
And I was just like, oh
dear.
No.
Oh dear.
My bad.
That does not sound
But
like a good
I
sound.
didn't know that. And also, like, you're in some, how are you, like, on acid in somebody's house that you, like, don't even know?
Which is back in Farmingdale.
This is in Massachusetts. This is in
Okay.
Framingham. I just got here, the doggo on the couch. Yes, this is the Luna bear. The Luna fish.
Wake up, Luna. Luna. I was sleepy.
Yeah, she was like that the entire class. With her little paws crossed.
She's never like this, FYI.
This is like insane to see her like this.
Just been in the car for 2 days, so she's not having it.
Yeah, we had a 9-hour drive last night.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I think about it, it might have been 10.
It's probably closer to 10. We did take like
4, 5,
decent
6, 7,
stops.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 10 hours.
10-hour drive yesterday, and Luna she was so good in the back. It was like the last 45 minutes that she was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're too close, we're not stopping.
Exactly. It's like the second that she felt the Chico line, like the Chico City limit line, she was like, okay, just get me home. Just get me home.
Yeah, I think once we hit like red lights and stuff, she was like,
I'm done.
I can't do this stop and go.
Mm-hmm.
Just stop and go stuff. But thanks for joining everyone. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We are, we're live every morning. Well, it's morning for me. I know it's not morning for Swiss. I don't know if it's morning for Kitty Snacks, but Kitty Snacks. Are you in Huntington Beach? Anyway, I don't want to dox you, but yes. Also, hi to your friend. She enjoyed class with you. Yeah, this is Kaya. Or Kai Bucha. Sometimes you see her in the comments because she's practicing up here while I'm down in San Diego. And I'm staying with her for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. This week. And then we're going to go pick up more people and bring them back up north.
I'm in Indiana. LOL, Kitty Snacks. I'm like, you're in Huntington Beach, right? Like, you're in California too. She's like, LOL, Indiana. Close enough. Tomato, tomato. Indiana, Huntington Beach. Cool. Hello from the Midwest. Yes. I really wanted to have some Midwest, viewers, because we always have East Coast, West Coast, and then Southwest. We have Texas. I have friends in Texas, but I don't have Midwest and the South, like the Southeast, you know. But from Arizona, so jealous of that Cali weather. Yeah, although it's cold and rainy.
I was like, this is NorCal weather, though.
But SoCal, for me, like where I'm at, for sure, like, you just cannot beat 70 and sunny. I mean, like,
NorCal and SoCal might as well be 2 different states. We're very, very different. It's like 50 degrees right now, but it feels like it's 30.
Yeah, it's cold. But I'm just going to get my shit together and go for a run because it's not raining.
Go for it.
I'm only 6 miles from my running goal, guys.
Aw, snap.
Yeah, so we're going to run 3 today and 3 tomorrow. You can't, and mountains and cacti. Wait.
Yeah, no, I was like, what was that in reference?
Shout out, 7 p.m. here. You can't. And mountains and cacti. You mean Southwest? Mountains and cacti, I feel like, is like Southwest. Oh, yeah, San Diego is also that. And hello, Ahmed Gut on YouTube. Classes every day at the same time. You can't beat the weather. Yes, okay, excellent. That makes sense in context. Gotta love that lag. I'm like, what can't we do?
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, what are we not allowed to do? What are we not allowed
Take that can't and put it in the can't jar. We do not use that language
Can't
here.
does not exist in this house.
You're just like, no, you can't beat the weather. Oh, that was actually a positive thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, actually, that's a good sentence.
That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, I really loved hanging out with you, and I definitely would not have woken up this early if I didn't already have this commitment. So I'm really happy, actually, that I did, because now I get to have a full day here in Chico instead of half a day and have my whole sleeping schedule thrown off, you know?
I'm happy that we forced ourselves up.
Yeah. Thanks for joining me. I was
on the fence.
I was like 50-50 she gets up.
Yeah, I was like,
no judgment.
When I got up, I was like, no, I'm going to be there, but I'm not convinced that I'm going to take the class. I might just sit on the couch in the background. But then once you started the shoulders, I was like, screw it, I'm here.
Yep.
Let's do it.
We've talked to Oscar says that all the time.
We've come too far.
Functional alcoholic. He's a functional alcoholic in the comments. He's like, oh, sometimes I'll just turn you on. I'm like, and I'm just looking at the screen like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing it. But he's like, but then my body's already doing it. And I'm like,
angry face.
Yeah. Wake up with me.
Wake up with me.
At Kai Bucha, she is really here to make art and tea and make sure you are keeping up with your yoga.
Yep, exactly. That's the real reason.
You literally, M9 Easy. You know me way too well. Because that's actually just my life, is like making art, making tea, and trying to get other people to do yoga.
Yep.
That's like basically my life's purpose.
I
feel so seen.
I used Sam coming as an excuse as to why I wasn't going to do yoga this week, because I had to like clean and organize the house, and that's the real reason she came, is to make sure I did yoga.
This is a cute setup, though. I mean, like, yeah, the dog definitely steals the show.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like a cute streaming setup.
I thought it would be nice, the fireplace and everything.
And then I realized that the reason that I was dark the entire time was because I had my light on low.
Oh, that'll do it.